Hello, and thank you for joining us today for our spring marketing series. Today is class number 1, Listing Management. My name is John Roy. I am one of the trainers here at Smart MLS, and I will take you through this journey today. We are going to take this class through a process that we find on emails, lots of emails that we get, calls that we get. So we're going to try to point out and highlight a few things as we go along. And our first step is going to be the parcel ID lookup. And to look up a parcel ID, we're going to go to Add Edit in the upper left-hand corner and click on Add New. If you have any drafts, we can just click Continue and move on. And as you know, there's step 1 is your property type. I'm just going to pick on single family for sale. But step 2 is how would you like to enter the listing? So there are 3 choices that you have. Fill from tax, which will probably be about 90% of your listings will come right from the tax record. Choice 2, which we're going to demonstrate in a minute here, fill from listing and tax, clone plus tax. So when you do clone the listing, if you're still in good standing with that listing, still in your office, and you clone the listing, all the photos, all the remarks come over. So all in one shot, you get everything. You get all the tax information, any remarks you put in, any photos, and of course you do have the opportunity to update the photos or the marks on that. But all that information comes over for you in one shot. And the third choice, manually enter all listing data, all 9s. So that would be if you had new land, or I shouldn't say new land, new construction, land, something like that, you'd use all 9s. So first we're going to do fill from tax. And after you click fill from tax, it's enter one or more of the following. We usually find that less is more here. So the less information, the easier it is to find things. You can use the owner's name, but if it's not spelled correctly or exactly how it is on the tax record, it won't come up. So instead of, really spending a lot of time here, you just put in the basic information. We're looking for 403 North Street, and that is in Milford. So I'm just going to go here and choose Milford. You see all the towns are here. Let's just say I didn't know what county Milford was in. Instead of playing around with the county, I could just put Milford 403 North. I come down here at the bottom right or at the top right, whichever is easier for you. We click continue. And you see right here, the tax did its search, and it found 430 North Street in Milford. So we'll put a check mark here, and then we'll just click continue and go right into the listing. We're going to continue in a minute, but I just want to show you what it looks like to do a clone. So we're going to cancel that. We're going to come back to add a new listing. We're going to choose single family for sale, and except this time we're going to fill from listing and tax. And when you click fill listing from tax, you need the old MLS number. So I'm going to enter that right here. Now this is from a training database, so that's why the number looks a little different. But you put your MLS number in, that's all you need. Click continue. And you see here, the top record is the matching tax record. So we put a check mark next to that. We want all the tax information to come over. And then the bottom one is the previous listing, your listing, the older listing. Put a check mark next to that as well. So all that information will copy over. And then click continue. All right, so next up is our activation status. And this is where we get a lot of phone calls and emails. There are 3 choices: active, coming soon, closed, comparable only. We suggest that this is the field where you determine the status the listing will be once you've finished entering the listing and publish it to the MLS. So if you're entering it today, it's going to go active later today, tomorrow, next week, next month. When you're ready to go, it's going to be active. You choose active now. You cannot make it go active and publish it on the MLS by accident. I'll show you some examples of that later. So whatever it's going to be when you're ready to have it be on the MLS, that's what you choose. A coming soon has certain documentation and paperwork and rules and regulations that you have to follow. A comparable, that's maybe a grandparent gifted a home to a grandchild or something like that, sold it for $1 to have a transaction. You want it in there for comparable reasons. That'd be a comp only type scenario. But if this is going to be active on the MLS next week and you're just getting a head start by entering the listing, you're going to go ahead and choose active. And this will not prevent you, when you click save draft and continue up here in the right hand corner, this will not accidentally go in and be active. This is just going to save your work so you can continue. Now we just want to touch a couple quick things on this main screen here that you see. First thing is just the listing date. We'll do that really quick. You can click in there and type in the actual date yourself, or you can use the calendar, whatever's easier for you. faster, easier for you, you can go ahead and put that. But what we want to touch base is on the listing date. The listing date is going to be according to your paperwork that you sign with your client. So let's say you're entering this in today, but you're going to see your client, tomorrow or the day after, and that's when they're going to sign the paperwork and you get ready to put it in. That's the listing date that you put in. What is according to your paperwork? Because if I put this in today, as in April 2nd, and then on the 10th, I get the paperwork signed and I make it go active on the 10th, the days on market are going to reflect 2 through 10. So it's not going to be 0 days on market, 1 day on market. It's going to reflect when I put this listing date in. So if you think this is going to go on the 10th, you could put the 10th in here. And then when you get ready to actually activate it and make it go live, you can come in here and change the date, perhaps if it's the 11th or the 9th or something like that. You can't do it in advance. So you have to physically come in here on the day to validate it for publishing and put it on the MLS. So you can, if you think it's going to go on the 10th or the 11th, you could put the 10th and 11th right here now as a placeholder, and then come back and verify that that's the correct date according to your paperwork when you make it go active on the MLS. All right. We're going to skip around to a couple of tabs, a couple changes here. We're going to go to our next tab over here on the far left is the Rooms tab. And in Rooms, the total number of beds copy over from the tax record. So you see here, we kind of have that percentage here. It populated from tax and MLS data. So if it was just tax, it would be the percentage. The percentage with the little house behind it, that just means that we cloned it over. So that's how the information appeared here. And in this particular property, you have 5 bedrooms. So with the 5 bedrooms, you have to have 5 bedrooms down here in the room details. So if we come down here and we look, we have 1, we have 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're all set to go. But let's just say we didn't. We didn't have 5 bedrooms in here. Let's just delete bedroom here. So we have 4 bedrooms. We have to add a bedroom. We'd come down here to the bottom, to the kind of the right, bottom left, I should say, bottom left. Click here to add another room. We go in here and make this a bedroom. And you have to have one of the bedrooms have to be primary. So those were 4 regular bedrooms, if you will. So we're going to go in here and make this the primary bedroom. Let's just say it's on the, it's on the main floor, and we're all set. So once we have our bedrooms in here, we can go ahead and rearrange the order of the rooms. That's something new that we just added to the system not too long ago. So we're going to jump in there right now. And this will allow you to rearrange the rooms that you have. So for instance, maybe I want the primary bedroom to be the first room. So there's 3 ways to do it. And as you get familiar with Connect, you'll know that Connect gives you multiple ways to do the same thing. You don't have to know them all, memorize them all, not doing it to confuse you, just doing it to show you that there's multiple ways to do it. So whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever's faster, easier, quicker for you, adapt that way and go ahead and run with it. So you can use these little blue arrows here, and I can move the primary bedroom up with the arrows. I can take it and I could drag and drop it up to number 1 like that. So now I have my primary bedroom number 1, I have bedroom number 2, and now I have dining room kind of stuck in the middle. So the third way, so I could drag and drop it, like I dragged and dropped that. I can use the up and down arrows, or I could use the numbers. I could just click in there and make this number 6, because I have 6 rooms, and dining room drop to the bottom. So whatever way is faster for you, whether you use the numbers, the arrows, or the drag and drop, that's how you'll go ahead and rearrange your rooms. So you could put them in whatever order you want when you're entering the listing. And then before you get ready to publish it, you could double check and make sure they're in the order that you need. Just remember to click Save Changes in the upper left, and it'll save the order for you. You can kind of check the order here. And that's exactly the order that we want. So we're all set, ready to go. Now there are a couple fields throughout the process here that we want to point out. We're going to go in the Structure tab next on the left here. So I'm going to scroll down to Attic, and you'll see if you have Attic and you have No, you're all set. Move on to your next tab that you have to work on. But if you say yes, if I click the drop down right here and choose yes, now I get all these fields open up. And I could say it's via hatchway. I could put in here it's a crawl space, it's unfinished, whatever I might want to do. All that populates in there. So this attic description did not populate until I clicked yes, no for attic. And there's a few fields like that throughout Connect. You'll see garage, parking space, HOA. So if you have HOA, you have a lot of information, or the attic information, whatever it might be, just when you get to that field, just be aware that as soon as you click yes, then all the other fields populate for you. And I'll show you the HOA here in a second. All right, so we're going to go to association info, and you see right here, HOA is blank, yes or no. If I click no, I move on to my next tab, but if I click yes, now it pops up with my HOA fee amount, special association assessment, the fee includes, where I get up to 9 different fields. So once you see all this appeared once I clicked yes. So there are a few fields like that, so just be aware that there's relationship fields, for lack of a better term there, that will happen and they'll expand, will open up once you click yes. So if you have all that information ready to go, just make sure that you click yes, and then all those fields will appear for you. You'll be all set to go. One more field, we'll go to here, remarks on the far left side. And remarks, this is where you put in all your information that you want about the listing. We just kind of reiterate that, you're going to market the property here the best way you can. Not yourself or your services, the actual property. You can use a ChatGPT to help with the descriptions and the writing of it. You might want to save that in a Word file on Microsoft or Pages on a Mac, and then copy and paste it in here, so you can do all the spell checking, make sure it looks great. But just make sure that you're marketing the property the best you can of. Be aware of the fair housing words to avoid. Our Smart Desk, if you go to our Smart Desk, we have a whole page on it, and it gives you all a list of different words to use and suggestions on that fair housing list. So just be aware of that. Just want to reiterate here that you're marketing the property, not yourself or your services. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click Validate for Publishing. And once I click on that, the system goes through a check, and I have a listing summary. I have reviewed all the information, but before I check that, I have a warning. Now, a warning is not going to prevent you from adding this listing, publishing the listing, going live on the MLS. An error will, and if you do receive an error, and we're going to show an example of an error in a second here, you do have to correct that. And once you correct the error, you can go ahead and publish. You'll see we still have one more little check here in the far right before we do have to put the check mark here, and then we have one more click of the button before we can publish this live. But you notice I did get a warning. And warnings, again, will not prevent you from publishing a listing. Warnings are kind of tips or tricks, if you will, or little kind of updates and things like that. Like for this one, it spells it right out for you. Call for beach access 800-888, made up number. But still, do you really want a number like that in the listing for all to see? So it's kind of giving you a warning there. So, you can get away with that, but, maybe you don't want to go through that. So you can go ahead and have an opportunity to fix it. Or if it's something very minor, you can just go ahead and publish listing. And I'll show you what a published listing looks like. I'll put the check there. I click Publish Listing. And it tells us your listing has been successfully added. It reiterates your listing number, and you can go right in here and configure showing time, add an open house, or do whatever you have to do. But let me show you first, when you get an error, what an error will look like. So here's a listing where I clicked Validate for Publishing in the far corner, and I got red in my rooms. So I have to fix this before I move forward. So I click in Rooms, and I scroll down here. Everything's looking good. Looking good, looking good, looking good. And there it is. Level for room must be level. So as soon as I click lower, I come back over the top corner, Validate for Publishing. And there we go. We have the listing summary. I reviewed all the information. We've passed all the rules. I click Publishing again the second time. So as you see, I can't make it go active accidentally. There's a couple hoops I have to jump. There's my new listing number. And again, just like before, we could go in here and upload any more photos, showing time, or what have you. Come back out to the MLS dashboard. All right, I want to jump back into a listing really quick. A couple quick things. All right, so let's say we're all set with this listing. We dotted the I's, we crossed the T's. There's a couple more things we could do. We could generate a listing sheet right here on the upper right. And what this does is this is all different features and everything you could think of that you could put in for this particular one, single family residential for sale. It populates with a tax record, or if you're cloning all the information. And as you fill it out, it'll pre-populate. So if you get halfway through and you're really not happy with the information that you have so far, you can download it, you can print it, you can email it to your client, have them fill it out. You can sit with them and go through it and say, okay, this is what I have. What else do you want to promote? What else do you want to tout about your home? maybe they want to put that they have a chandelier in the dining room or something like that. They can go through this whole list. And again, this updates as you go along. So if you, like I said, if you get halfway through and you just want more information, you can send it to your client. You could sit with them before you do the listing. You could sit with them after the listing and make sure you dotted the I's and crossed the T's for them. And again, that's the generate a listing sheet, updates as you go through all the tabs. You can also share this draft. This is the draft that I'm in right here. You can share this draft with them. So it just comes up with your typical email box here. So you can email out to them. They can take a look at it, make sure it looks up to what they expect. And you can also preview right up here on the upper right as well. So right now I haven't really put a whole lot in here, but you see it has the front facing photo, number of bedrooms, bath, just as it looks like in the MLS. All the tax information came over. You can look at it. We didn't put a lot into this one, but you could see it kind of has a lot of information. So you can kind of preview it and make sure it looks pretty good before you go ahead and publish this. You can send this to your client as well. You can print it. You can save it as a PDF, attach it to your email, send it to them, and make sure you get the approval of them as well. And the last thing that we really want to show you here is photos and documents. So we're going to go to photos, and I'll show you why I want to re-upload them. So you upload your photos, and you'll notice when you upload photos, they automatically go in a list view right up here in the middle. I only have 3 photos here, so it's very easy, very simple to go through, but you might want to try using the grid view. This way when you upload, 20, 30, 40 photos, it'll be a lot easier. You can see more on the page. You kind of see where they're situated in the order and that kind of thing. So grid view, I think, is always a way to go. From here, just like with the rooms, you could rearrange the order. So I'm assuming you'd want the front of the home first. You can just click on it, drag and drop it, and make that the number 1 photo. I have the bathroom as number 2. Maybe you want that kitchen photo. Again, just like with the rooms, you could click the little blue arrow and make that 2. Or maybe you want the bathroom to be the second photo. You can click in the number and change it. So the 3 ways, again, you don't have to know all of them, just whatever works faster, quicker, easier for you, is you could just click in and do the number. You can use the arrows or drag and drop, whichever is faster and easier for you. All right. Once you have them in the order that you like, you can add captions here. So if you see this is bold and it says add details, if you click on that, you can choose a title. Like, let's say front of the house. Maybe it's a new sidewalk was put in. You want to tout that. Submit that. And you'll see now it says edit details. It's not as bold. We're here where it says add details bold, meaning I haven't put anything in there yet. So you can go ahead and put in all your captions. You can delete the photo, as we did when we first came in, and you can edit the photos. So I'm going to show you this. You can, maybe they're upside down. You can rotate them. You can brighten them up. But what I like is the move and scale button. And what that does is it kind of blows the picture up. So let's say I do not want this light pole in the picture. Just saying that's annoying me. I could just slowly slide this bar down here. And as I slide the bar, I'm zooming up on the house. So I'm getting a better picture of the house. And I'm eliminating that pesky pole. And then I say, okay, that's the photo. That's what I want as my, my main photo. Just click save here, and you save it. Another example, there might be a little pile of clothes tucked away in a corner, or maybe a photo with a child on it you want to kind of crop out. So even though the photos are in here, you do have the opportunity to go ahead here and make a couple quick edits. So I wanted to show everybody that. And then once you're satisfied with all your photos, you just click Save Changes in the upper left here, and the system will go through and save all your photos. A couple quick tips on that. If you are working with 40 photos and you upload 10, you might want to click Save, upload another 10, click Save. This way it just makes it a little faster and easier for you. Depending on your internet and the computer you have, it might be a little easier to kind of save as you go along, particularly if you're going in and adding a lot of details. It might take a while for all the 40 of them to get updated. So you might want to do 10, save it, 10 details and save it, do that kind of thing. And then down here, you have a little preview of the photos. You could always go back in there and manage photos. A couple things I wanted to mention in here. When you go into add details, there is a button that shows virtually staged. So if this particular photo is virtually staged, you could just click that and it'll get the watermark on it. Or if all the photos are virtually staged, you can just click one button here up at the top. So if everything's virtually staged, click one button. If just a few of them are, you go in there and you can tag them as needed. And then remember, just to click save. But before I click save, you can preview this as well. So unless you just want to double check, make sure everything looks great, just click on one of the photos. It pops up in the middle of the screen here, and you see I have front of house, new sidewalk. Once you put your cursor in the photo, the little arrows pop up, so I can go whichever order I want, go through them. And what I wanted to show you is you go through them. Now let's just say you're all done with here. You want to click close preview. We do get a lot of calls where, depending on how your resolution of your screen is, whether you're using a laptop, desktop, sometimes this is hidden, so you may have to scroll up or scroll down to get the close preview. But just click the close preview, save changes. Never hurts to click save changes, and you're back out here on your manage photos. And you see here I have virtually staged on that photo. The one photo I checked, photos virtually staged, is watermarked there. So you're all set to go. We're going to go to documents here. And I have a couple documents in here already. I'll go ahead and upload another one. But what I want to show you here is, it has what type of document it is. This lock means that it's public. And if you just hover on it, it'll kind of tell you what it is. So if you get stuck or confused, you can just hover on it. Locked lock means that it's private. An open lock means that it's public. It gives you the size here, type of file, who uploaded it, when, and of course you can edit it. You can also reorder the documents as well if you wanted to. So if you click on, and just like we did with the bedrooms, you can use the number. If you want 1 to be 2, 2 to be 1, you can use the little arrows, or you can drag and drop. Again, just remember to hit save in the upper left, and you're all set to go. So once this is done saving, we're going to go ahead and add another document just to show you that process. All right, so you're just going to click add document. And there's 4 steps. Step 1, specify the document to add. So I'm going to click choose file, choose my file. Step 2, select the document type. Document type in the middle there, disclosures. I just click the drop down arrow on the end. This is a floor plan, so I'm going to come and scroll down to additional public documents, floor plan. And I have the floor plan right in here. I can type in there. So let's just say today's the 2nd. I want to put today's date in here because maybe we're going to be getting updated. This is new construction or something like that. I'm going to list all the floor plans so we could go there and see the progress, or maybe they made a change. The owner wanted to change a bigger bedroom or another bedroom. You can go through the changes. You can do that. Step 3 is choose your viewing restrictions. 99.999% of the time, this is going to default to exactly what you want. Some of the other systems do it automatically for you. Once again, Connect gives you some choices. Just in case some crazy scenario came up where you need to change that, you can do that. But again, 99% of the time, you're going to leave that alone and go right to step 4, click add. And there we go. There's our floor plan so we got a floor plan from the 1st, floor plan from the 2nd. It's a public document. I uploaded date and time, and you're all set to go. All right. Moving right along, we're going to do a couple add edit things here. So right off the bat, if you hover on add edit, you can go right in and edit listing status. So if you have your MLS number and you're going to change it from active to under contract or under contract to closed, you can do that. You can edit the price right from here. And I'll just show you that. You have to enter in the MLS number. And again, this is a training database, so that's why this number looks a little different. So right now it kind of recaps the property that you have. Active, price change, it's 100,000. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make it say 99. And just click save, and you just change the price on that. If we go back to add edit, you can edit listing details, which again, I'll use our friend here. That'll bring you into the main screen here. So you can go into, you want to update some remarks. You could jump right into remarks. You need to add some more information on the rooms. You could just jump right in there. And that is from add edit, and that is edit listing details. But another way, if you're not sure the MLS number, you can always go to view manage my listings and transactions. When you click on that, it's going to default over here on the far left to what you usually use. We were in here a couple times for drafts, so we could go right into the draft. If we click a draft over here on the far right, click the pencil, it's going to bring us up to, yes, I'm going to continue editing. It's going to bring us up to our familiar screen here. But if I go to add edit, view manage, and change this on the far right, the little drop down to my active listings, and go into one, go all the way over to the far pencil, it's going to give us a different little menu. So very similar to the short one we had. We could edit listing status, we could do the price, change from active to offers under review, yes or no, under agreement, Hubbard clause, again, all yes or no's, edit listing details, a familiar screen of ours, kind of like from the beginning. You could extend the listing expiration date. You cannot move the expiration date back. So if you put in 12/31/2025 and you need to make that December 1st with the proper paperwork, we can do it for you here at the MLS. So just shoot us an email, support@smartmls.com. Let us know that on TRN, well, it'll be 240000. Please see the paperwork to change the expiration date to whatever it might be. We can certainly help you out with that. You can reposition property on the map. I hope you never have to come up against this. I'll demonstrate it really quick. Now there's our home sitting perfectly where it is. Every once in a million listings, you'll see it might be like in the middle of the road, or it might be over here in the water for some crazy reason. With Connect here, you can just click on it with your mouse and drag it over to where it should be. And then just make sure you click Save. Hopefully you won't run into that, but again, stranger things have happened. We'll click on our little pencil, moving right along here. You can add and edit photos. So you want to update some photos. We only had 3 in this one, so I'm sure you want to use more than that. You can go in there, add, edit your virtual tour, and add, edit tour or open house. We're going to go into that one right now. So open house or broker tour, click whichever it might be. Use your date. So you can use the calendar, or you can go in there and just type in the date, whichever is easier and faster for you. Live streaming, yes or no, pretty straightforward. Start time. A little preference here. Let's say it's going to be 1 p.m. It defaults to a.m. and it says outside normal business hours. So you just kind of change that to p.m. Go down here, change it to 2 o'clock. No lunch, no refreshments. Click save, and you kind of review it right here. Your open house has now been added on the far right. You could review it, make sure everything looks good. Maybe you got to add some comments. Please take shoes off. Something like that. Click save. And you have your comments. Comments have been added to your open house. And that is pretty much it for the open house. I'm going to go back in there. Click my little pencil. We're almost done here. Manage documents. So you want to add a document to the floor plan. We got another floor plan. We want to update that. We can configure showing time. That takes us right into our app, the website before. Nothing changes with showing time. It's always the same old great showing time. And of course, your key boxes. You can assign your key boxes and all that. And that's pretty much what we want to do on this first session here. Just kind of an overview, some tips and tricks and things about when you're entering a listing. At the end of the day, though, if you get stuck, any questions, anything at all, please just give us a call. 2-3 minutes in. We're here to help. We're happy to help. We want to get over that learning curve. Help over here on the far right side. If you click on that, if you don't see help because you're on a tablet or a laptop or something, if you click more with the 3 dots, that'll come up with anything that might be on your menu bar that got cut off due to your screen. But if you go to help and click Connect MLS, you'll see that we're here 8:30 to 7 Monday through Thursday. We're here till 6 on Friday, and both Saturdays and Sundays, 9 to 3 on both Saturdays and Sundays. You can always email us at support@smartmls.com. But the best way is to just reach out to us, 203-750-6000. We have a bunch of reps ready to go on the phone here in Milford to help you out. So please give us a call. Don't spend a lot of time on it. And just we'll walk you through it. We'll even send you a link to a little article that'll have step-by-step to what we helped you out with as well. So please give us a call. Again, thank you for attending. We hope to see everybody for part 2 and 3. You are going to get an emailed copy of this. So if you were only able to attend 1 and 3 or 1 and 2 or what have you, we're going to send out all 3 for you. So again, thank you very much for your time. You have a great rest of your day.